Hey, 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 what's going on, family? How's it going? How's it going? Good to be here. Good to be here tonight. Good to see all you guys here. So, greetings. So, Courtney, the SLP, I see you. Insight to Insight, what's going on? I see you. I see you. Let's see here. We got graphic designs. Hello, hello. Taylor Bass, what's up? What's up? So, and see, 80I, Ada I. So, hello. Let's see. It says, I've studied reality creation and manifest principle for years, but there's something about it that I just can't get myself to trust or accept. What should I do to grow my faith in myself? Aha. It's a good question. We'll address that there a little later. We'll do that. Okay. So, I'll come back. So, ask that question again. All right. All right. Let's see. All right. Melvin Reed says, teach what you preach, do what you do. What's going on, Ivory Crump? What's happening? Rob the Creator, what's happening? Good to see you. Good to see you. So, got family in the house, as always. Good to see you guys. Always like to see family in the house. So we'll have a talk about a topic today, but the questions are not limited to the topic that I'm going to discuss. So it's good. So good questions. All questions are good questions. All right. So cool. So Brian McNeil, what's up? What's up? Hello. Dulce Maria, what's happening? Good to see you. And let's see, we got Maricel, hello. And we got Wise, what's up? What's up? Lakeisha, Cersei, what's on? What's going on, Lakeisha? Good to see you. And there's my daughter, Vo Vibes. She's in the house. What's going on, daughter of mine? Let's see. And it's grounding. Hello, hello. The Dark Goddess is in the house. All right. All right, Dark Goddess. Good to see you, sister. Good to see you. Angela Rice is in the house. Yes, she is. There she is. All right. Got everybody's coming in. Good to see you guys. Let's see. What's going on, Linda? So, Linda, what's happening? What's happening? All right. Let's see. And this man, y'all got these names. The Son of Glory. Okay, I was trying to make that out. What's going on, brother? What's going on? The Son of Glory. And the Low Key Goat LLC. What's happening? All right. Got a full house coming in tonight. And Wise starts off with $4.99. Thank you, Wise. Thank you. I definitely appreciate it. So starts off hitting hard. All right. Appreciate you guys. And Andrea J. Hello, hello. What's going on, Andrea? Henry Jones, how's it going? Henry be asking these questions, be trying to get me in the middle of his family fights. You got to quit doing that, Henry. Good to see you, though, brother. Good to see you. Taylor Bass, I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, hey, high vibes all the time, Insight. Yes, ma'am. All the time. That's what it's about. So raise the vibes, raise the consciousness. That's all. That's what it is. Let's see. I'm going to just come out of a 30-minute meditation. It was awesome. All right. All right. Good to hear. Ruben, what's happening, brother? What's going on? Good to see you. So again, family in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. So yeah, man, we here in Dallas, boy, the temperature has been dropping. Whew. It's already 30-something degrees, man, and we getting ready to get some snow. And we ain't, well, not snow, we get ice. So I don't know if some people think like people in Texas is crazy because they be driving and all of a sudden you see all these wrecks and stuff. But ice is different than snow. So ice, you can't get any kind of traction on. None. So you hit a patch, you hit that black ice, whoop, 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 you're gone. So stay in the house. Stay in the house. Let's see. USC. Why says you open up so much enlightenment in my life, brother. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. This is definitely some powerful, powerful teachings, man. It's definitely stuff it opened up and enlightened me, you know. So I'm just sharing that experience. So y'all got snow in St. Louis, Henry? Yeah. So y'all a little bit further north than us here. So yeah. Welcome to in New York weather. Now, Dulce Maria, you know, this is not even New York weather because y'all will get snow. We'll get rain, and then it freezes. We get the ice, and then we might get some snow on top of the ice. That's the kind of stuff we get. It's crazy. So yeah, I know. I'm sure y'all already getting it, Hazel, in Oklahoma for sure. And Chicago, yeah, y'all get the snow. Y'all get the snow for sure. So, but it's all good for me. I won't even go outside, so I'll just stay in. I bought me some nachos, Cheetos, and all that. I'm just gonna make it a little dip, kind of a like excursion. That's what I do. So he eats some dips and chips, and I'm good. So it's all good. I wrap up in my my onesie. Get my little booty socks on, you know, and I'm good, man. I'm wrapped up, so I got it. It's all good. I'm telling you, dip excursion. So just sit up. Hey, it be Netflix and it's on, you know. So I ain't even mad. It don't bother me. So that's for sure. So Angela Rice gave $4.99. Thank you, Angela Rice. I definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. So y'all having a snowstorm in Ohio, man. Well, it's not a storm yet, but it's cold. Woo, it's cold. So for us, that's not good. It was what, Tuesday? No, Monday, it was 70 degrees. 70 degrees Monday. And 2 days later, we're down in like freezing. And that's what, and then 4 days, probably next Monday, it'll be 70 degrees again. You know, so that's the kind of weather we get. So it's crazy. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So tonight, guys, we're going to talk about. So I'm going to get into it. Get into what we going. Love JJ's in the house. What's happening, Love JJ? Good to have you. Good to have you. But so we're going to talk a little bit about the meaning of the cross. So without further ado, so I'm Reginald Q A, and I'm the founder of Comedic Centered Living. And I help those that are transitioning from dogmatic Christianity to a Kemetic spiritual framework that will help you live life boldly, authentically, unapologetically, and on your terms. Because that's what it's about. It's about living life. So I got some notes here. Okay. So I won't be able to see y'all's questions while I'm reading the notes. But as soon as I get through, again, the questions do not have to be limited to the topic that I'm talking here. But if you got more questions, you can ask. Okay. So let's talk about the metaphysical nature, or y'all can talk amongst yourselves. Y'all can do that. But, you know, I was a teacher once. I used to hate that when students are talking while I'm teaching. So, but since y'all's in silent mode, y'all good. I won't send anybody to the principal's office. So, all right. So the metaphysical nature of the cross, existence, and how the Kemetic teachings show up in the Bible. Because as you know, everything that is in the Bible originated from ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt. So Kemet, Egypt, we use those terms interchangeably. But Kemet is more ancient than Egypt. Okay, so a lot of these ideas are 10,000 years old and more. The idea of Christ is over 10,000 years old, way before the Bible ever came into anybody even thought about it. Okay, so an aspect of natural functioning of nature that became part of biblical scripture is the idea of the cross. Okay. So in ancient African spiritual science, a cross has multiple meanings. So there's many different layers here. Over 10,000 years, there are many different layers that we're talking about here. Okay. So within the ancient Egyptian science, one of those meanings is directly related to the idea of Jesus dying on the cross as the Savior. Okay. So considering this idea in a scaled down and condensed version, conceptually, the cross was the idea of what components were needed to occur in the metaphysical world in order to manifest into the physical world or physical matter. Okay. So in other words, there had to be a crossing of elements, okay, in order to manifest something from the metaphysical into the physical. So considering this, so in numerology, it's the number 4. So it's the foundation, okay? In Egyptian mythology, it's Ptah, or the top pillar, which is the 4 elements as the foundation of physical matter. The Egyptian net of Ptah is an aspect of nature, as an aspect of nature is the cross, okay? So we're talking again, just different layers here. So in order for a chair to be stable, it must have 4 legs to hold you upright. In order for matter to manifest, it must have 4 components from the metaphysical world to exist in the physical world, or to bring it from the metaphysical world into the physical world. Okay? So again, the cross. So a physical body is matter. Okay? It is pinned or nailed to the metaphysical cross, in the sense that it cannot come into existence without the crossing of the 4 alchemical elements of fire, water, air, and earth. So this crossing has to occur for any matter, including mankind, to exist. So for any matter, there has to be a cross that exists first. There has to be a metaphysical crossing of these elements, okay? So a crude application of these elements is to understand the science of how matter or a body forms. So fire is desire, water on one level is emotions, air is spirit, and earth is matter. The Bible has symbolic names for earth, or the underworld, okay? So just a few of those names are Egypt, Sodom, Babylon, etc. Earth is called Amenta in the Egyptian tradition. It's called Sheol in the Hebrew tradition, Hades in the Greek tradition, and hell in the Christian tradition, okay? So these are all esoteric names for different aspects of the soul's journey down into the underworld known as earth. So we got to think of the soul as being up there, okay? So it's outside of the physical and it's metaphysical. But when it comes down, okay, into the physical, or is coming down into the physical, is the way that they termed it in the ancient times. Now, because the Roman Church had a major influence at the time of the biblical writings, Rome became the symbolic shining city of light that the soul ascended to, okay? Egypt was the land of the underworld, or earth, where the soul went through their trials and tribulations. This is one of the reasons Egypt is seen as a bad place in the Bible, okay? Because, again, Christianity, anything to do with earth, Christianity made it something negative, okay? Different aspects of this metaphysical journey of the soul are expressed as our holidays of Christmas and Easter, okay? So I'm touching on a lot of different things symbolically here, guys. So a lot of different things. But universally speaking, Christmas is the birth of the soul into the physical world, or matter, okay? In other words, the son, the virgin birth, is about the soul coming into matter, or mother, okay? So matter was known as mother, all right? The soul itself is known as father. That's how the son could impregnate the mother, okay? So the soul coming into matter, or mother, creates life, okay? So that's how that would be symbolically expressed in the Kemetic tradition. And Easter is the individual being resurrected from the death as an enlightened spiritual being connected to its God self. And the death is, again, the soul crossing into the physical, and resurrection is becoming enlightened to your God self, or your higher self, okay? So that's what the resurrection is symbolically, all right? So another symbolic meaning, when Jesus turns water into wine, it's about the idea of spiritual elevation, okay? So the wine, the soul, in this sense, the body, or the water of the body, has fermented because of its physical experience. It has become something more and elevated. Life is the fermenting agent of the soul that causes it to age and gain wisdom. Okay, so the fermentation process is turning water into wine. Okay, or becoming wiser. Okay, because of your life experience. All right. But again, it's all happening from the perspective of a soul, not the human physical body. The human physical body is just the expression of what's happening with these ideas. So that's what the readers of the gospel miss because of misinterpretation. The mythological events, the story of Jesus is based on, that the story of Jesus is based on, is not the underworld or earth. Okay. So it's not. So the things that Jesus is doing in the gospels is not something that's happening on earth. They actually have esoteric meaning or hidden meanings. Okay. So all those miracles are essentially just there's a lot of hidden meaning within the miracles that we're taught as it being history. All right. So Christ is the creative fire aspect that emanates from the double crossing of the elements. All right. No, I'm not going to go there because that's adding a whole lot. I'm already talking about a whole lot. That's probably like, oh, everybody's like, oh man, all this stuff. But it's desire or will of all of, but it's the desire or will of all of nature to exist and perpetuate itself. It's the energy or spirit being encased or entombed in matter that will continue forever. When you transmute the energy within matter, you elevate it. When you turn negative into positive or transmute it, you elevate it. That means you elevate consciousness. Again, this is like a really watered down, so I'm touching on a lot of different things, but it's a really watered down version, and they go a lot deeper, guys. So the Kemetic ideas are extremely technical, very technical. But you don't have to know it all that deep in order to understand the science and make it practical in your life, because that's ultimately what it's about. It's about really making it practical in your life. So this will also help you decode the esoteric meaning of Bible scriptures. I give you these details so you can unravel the misinformation of Christianity and know the truth. The truth is, as a soul, me, and everyone all died on the cross to be made flesh. It is a universal application to all of humanity. Okay? Everything in the universe died on the cross in order to exist. Our physical universe is the result of metaphysical properties that had to interact with each other. On one level, the idea of Jesus and Osiris is simply expressing the death of the soul that has been born into matter. The spark of God gives its life so that mankind may live abundantly. Okay? In that terminology, you may hear a Christian expression or dogmatic idea that Jesus died on the cross for your salvation. Christianity made Jesus the exception. But in truth, that's the lie that traps you into a world of fear and self-hatred. You as a soul gave yourself and your awareness so that you, the physical person, may live and be animated. The soul is wanting you to open up to its guidance. In terms of a soul and salvation, the spiritual science says that the soul has to die on the cross, which means give up its multidimensional awareness in order to descend into the physical world and experience itself as a human being. When it does, the body becomes euphemistically the tomb for the soul. From a negative perspective, it's the tomb of the soul, okay? And that's a negative aspect of it. But matter or flesh becomes the mother. Matter is mother that will birth an elevated spiritual being from a positive perspective, okay? The consciousness of the soul is buried in the flesh. From the ancient Comedic perspective, the physical return is the salvation, okay? So salvation is the return to live another life. That's from the Kemetic perspective. Not being saved from hell, as Christianity has taught us. While in flesh, the soul is to develop its awareness and become consciousness. You are as conscious as excuse me. You as consciousness are to elevate your knowledge and wisdom on your return back to the one, back to the source. When you elevate your individual wisdom, it also becomes elevation of the collective wisdom. This is the meaning of the double ma'at that you see in some Kemetic reliefs. Ma'at is symbolic of the idea we call consciousness in modern times. We have a ma'at on our personal level, but also connected to the universal ma'at. What I want to make clear at this point is that the Bible stories are on one level the allegories about the journey of the soul from the metaphysical world into the physical world and then out of the physical world. So it's like you're coming down and going up. Okay. The letter J is going down and it's halfway up. Okay. That's what the letter J means. Okay. Going down and it's halfway up. It stops a little bit. Okay. So that was not an arbitrary thing. Okay. Other aspects are teaching universal metaphysical principles like personality archetypes. Christianity taught us that the stories and characters were about historical events. In reality, the events were a drama or play about the esoteric metaphysical principles. Initiates were to read the information and then demonstrate their knowledge of the ideas by connecting them to their life experience. As history, we now have to see them as the ancients did. This is a whole new paradigm. This is something totally different. Okay. As I stated before, Christ is an aspect of you. It is an aspect of us all. Okay. Humanity has a spark of divinity within that is wanting us to elevate beyond our fears. When you climb the mount, you will meet your God self. That's what the mount means in the this is an esoteric key. The mount is where spirit and flesh meet. Okay, that's what that means. So when you see Jesus on the mount, okay, it's where spirit and flesh meet. See, in that exalted state of awareness, you will become consciousness. All right, the end. So that is a little bit, and again, guys, I just hit on some really like surface level points here about that knowledge of the cross. Okay, but it's a lot deeper than what we've been taught. So now, so if you got questions, please, you can ask questions. It doesn't have to be on what I just talked about, but that's just, again, that's an idea of the meaning of the cross. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Christ is in you. So you are the Christ. You're living every day. You're having Christ moments. You are becoming enlightened. You are an aspect of the Creator that is living. Okay, so you're the living aspect of the Creator. Okay, so Ada I said, okay, you had that quote. Thank you for posting that again. So it says, I've studied reality creation and manifesting principles for years, but they're gone. Okay, but I know, let's see, Ada was asking, said, I studied that for years. Let's see. What book were you just reading that from? That wasn't a book, Evan. That was notes that I've taken. So it's from hundreds of books. So it's notes that I've taken. So it wasn't one book. And that's where a lot of this knowledge is not what I'm putting together is not in one book. It's coming from a lot of different things, also from my metaphysical knowledge and everything. So I'm connecting a lot of dots. So the book what I just read, the book hasn't been made yet. Okay. So not from one book. But if you want to get a little bit more of that, I did do a video on that called "Did Jesus Die for Our Sins on the Cross?" So that comes from that, and then I give you also references, book references that you can look up there, Evan. So if you want more of that, all right. Ada says, so I just can't get myself to trust or accept. What should I do to grow faith in myself? And Ada, that really just comes from experience, and it comes from recognizing and practicing the science. So if you know the science, then it's really practicing it and having the ability to see and experiment and observe what is happening. So you're creating all the time. It's just natural for us to do that. We are our creations. Okay. So to have faith in yourself, you have to connect the dots for yourself, So that's part of that. All right. Okay, stop low vibrating. See, is buffering bad? Huh. I don't know what's happening here. So usually my connection is pretty good. I don't know why it's buffering, but I know it did at one time. Let's see. Let's see. What's the true meaning of Christ consciousness? See, that's a term, Shauna A, that people talk about Christ consciousness, but all it means, Christ just simply means that you are becoming enlightened. It's an enlightened state. So Christ consciousness is really kind of like a nonsensical statement in a way, So it's when they're saying, people are saying Christ consciousness, people are saying being like Christ, but Christ never existed. That Jesus Christ never existed on this earth. These were ideas, these were metaphysical concepts. And the concept of Christ is the idea of being enlightened or an enlightened one. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Rather Creator. I appreciate that. Let's see. Does every race have this connection? Yeah, race is a made up construct for human beings. So race did not exist until the 1700s when and I forget the dude's name that made up the idea of race. So when we get into these ideas that different races don't have souls and stuff like that, all you're doing is practicing the same crap that was practiced, when the church wondered if black people had souls. At one point, they wondered if women had souls. And I mean, all of that stuff is you're repeating the same crap again. Race is a made up construct. The only race is the human race. That's it. Plain and simple. So believing that black people or white people have something different, it's only a modern construct that does not make sense scientifically. Okay. C8A gave 222. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Goddess says she's going to get some tea. Go get that tea, Dark Goddess. Go get that tea. Let's see. That could be it, Henry. The weather. That could be it. Africans are the prototype to all others. So Africans were definitely what science says is that humanity started in Africa. So everybody's African. Okay. So Lisa Moore, what's going on? So your salvation means overcoming your fears and becoming heightened enlightenment. No, salvation is simple. When you as a soul descend into another life, you're living now, you're saved. That's what salvation is. It's not complicated. Okay. So don't cross it with any other things. The only thing that it means, not the only thing, but the main thing that salvation means is that you have the ability to live another life. In other words, you live thousands of lives as a soul. You never die. Your soul never dies. Your body does because it's a transitory state. Okay. So when you as a soul descend into a body, you're saved. So everybody that's on this video live right now, you're saved from the Comedic perspective. You are saved because you're living in a physical body. Okay. It's that simple, and don't complicate it with anything else. All right. Let's see. What did the Comedians believe about the heart? Ivory, I saw that in the group that you asked that. And you just said to somebody, so I was waiting to see if somebody wanted to answer that. But so their whole spiritual system was called the way of the heart. Okay, and the heart is symbolic of something, and it's symbolic of emotions. Emotions are the vibrational equivalent connecting us to the universe. Okay, so the way of the heart is connecting us emotionally. We're connecting to the universe through our emotion or our vibration, if that makes any sense. Okay, so good question. uh let's see. So are you saying we are the same? Because we are not. Well, Awaken, if you don't want to believe that, that's fine. But I don't want to argue with you about it. If you don't believe that, I have no problem with it. But I'm stating to you what I go by and what I have been taught and what I have learned through these teachings. And scientifically, there is no race. So if you want to believe that, fine, go with it. But I'm not going to argue about it. So it really makes no sense. So your salvation means overcoming your fears and becoming heightened enlightenment. No, salvation just means to live another life. But part of the journey of the soul is overcoming fears and becoming enlightened. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, those. I see that Henry Jones says I had to Google made the ideal of race and Joseph Arthur de Gobineau. Yeah, and I there's a really good I know a video that I saw this on YouTube years ago by Dr. Joyce. God, I can't remember her name now. But she does an excellent breakdown on that. Excellent breakdown and where all of the idea of race came from. And Joy DeGruy, Joyce DeGruy is her name, and she does it. So if you look up her, it's a classic video, but it's on YouTube, and she explains and break down the idea of race, and it's ridiculous. It's pseudoscience they just made up. Okay. So if this is the underworld, are we fallen angels? You're asking that into a Christian context. Let's see, that's Bellatrix Vega. You're asking that in the Christian context. And no, we're not fallen angels. So souls are just we're the aspect of God that is living in flesh is what we are. So no, we're not fallen angels. So and I know you're taking that from the idea of the Christian idea, and that's where they get that idea and they twisted it. So idea is the idea of light falling into matter is where that comes from. So, but it's not about fallen angels. So Satan or Lucifer, okay, which actually means bearer of light. It didn't have a negative connotation until the King James version. But light falling into matter is what we are. Okay, that does not make us an angel, though. No, I know I'm not an angel, but hey, I mean, what can I say? But I enjoy myself. Let me tell you. Yes, I do. Life is good. All right. So the salvation that was taught in a Christian church is just rubbish to make us forget who we really are into being something that is non-existent. You could say that. Absolutely, Dulce Maria. You could say that. Let's see. Balancing the scales don't carry a heavy heart. Yeah, balancing the scales mean one symbolic meaning of that is are you living life lighthearted? Okay, because you're balancing it against a feather. Are you living lighthearted? Are you having fun in life? Are you living life through your joy? Are you living life lighthearted? Okay, so that's one simple meaning for that deal, but it goes a lot deeper than that. Let me tell you. All right, Dark Goddess, you got that tea? All right, what kind of tea you drinking, Dark Goddess? Let's see. Who created the idea of Ma'at? Is it the same as the 10 Commandments? No, Sherry Covington, I know you're asking the questions about the 42 negative confessions of Ma'at, but I've never seen that anywhere. So I know people talk about those, but I've never seen them anywhere other than somebody talking about the 42 negative confessions. But from what I know of metaphysical science, negative confessions are not valid. I should say that in one way. Okay. Now, that's not to say that they don't exist, but it's not something that I've come across. And from what I practice and what I know and studied over the years, the universe doesn't hear negative, or the universe doesn't. How can I say? I am not rich. Okay, I am not poor. All right. So the universe doesn't hear the not, the universe hears the poor, because that's what you focused on. The universe hears I am poor. Okay. Because you're focused on that thing. So the not never registers because this is essentially what you're focused on. Okay. If that makes sense. Let's see. Regina McNeish, can you please name the video to search about race again? It's Dr. Joy DeGruy is her name, and I can't remember the name of the video. But if you pull up Dr. Joy DeGruy, you're probably going to pull up that video. It's going to be one of the first ones that'll come up. So brilliant lady. Let's see, but she breaks it down, and she did it in a seminar, man. She broke it down good. So yeah. So Lakeisha Cersei gave $9.99. Thank you, Lakeisha. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see. And oh man, the jump. Dang it, I hate this. Let's see. I'm just a guy that's in training, but I still need to know where I came from. Let's see. Question: how do you know when you reach your Christ? Are there not any limitations? No, and see that's a good question. And see, most people think that you reach this state and then you're like just, oh, boom, I'm Christ. Well, no, this is a continuous process. As you are learning through life, you are having Christ moments and Christ experiences that elevate you consciously. Okay. You might move into one area of your life that you are having issues in, but all of a sudden you start to get knowledge about those issues. Okay. And you start to change your life because of the knowledge that you're gaining. Because of the knowledge that you're gaining, you're having those Christ moments over and over, and you're developing yourself. So you don't reach this state and then you're just like, boom, like, I'm there. Do you reach a state where you're elevated consciously? Absolutely. But it is a constant process. It's not some one-time boom and you're done. Because life just doesn't work that way. Okay. So good question, though. Good question. What do you believe is the purpose of life? Oh, damn. That's one of those questions. It's like everybody's looking for that answer. But no, for real. The purpose of life is basically you're in training. So you're in training to become a god or goddess, or learn that you are a creator. Life is training you to do that. And life, the pain and the anguish and all the shit you go through, that's your training material. If you look at yourself as a victim, you don't learn, because you never learn a lesson, because it's somebody else's fault that's doing something to you. You never learn. Okay. So life is training ground for becoming a god or goddess, plain and simple. Let's see. Let's see. It says, thank you. I just realized I've been focused on studying instead of finding my joy in living. Glad I joined the class. Absolutely. Focus and find your joy and live life and enjoy it. Live in salvation, and you don't get reincarnated. So if you aren't given, Edward, my question to you was, who do you think gives you salvation? Okay. But there is an idea that if a soul that does not reincarnate, or because everybody doesn't reincarnate. Understand that there's different places and different layers or different beings that you can incarnate to. Okay. But there is an idea that a soul can get to a point to where it's so asleep or dead or unaware that it doesn't reincarnate. Okay. That's called the second death. All right. So that there is that idea out there like that. Okay. All right. Billy Sandiford gave $20. Thank you, Billy. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate it. I know Billy's in the class. Thank you, Billy. So yes. Okay. And let's see. Can you tell me a personal example that happened after you raised your vibration? Did the people around, like friends and family, you started following behind your footsteps and discovering the truth? No, Quincy, it doesn't happen like that. I raised my vibration and shit. My family said, "Hey man, you crazy?" I mean, they didn't want nothing. A lot of them that were Christian, they didn't want anything to do with me. So no, the idea of raising your vibration is this simple. Okay, you simply feel good. That's it. We make all of these complicated ideas about this stuff, and it's not. Raising your vibration, a high vibrational state, is feeling good. Simple. That's it. Okay. We go up and down. Some days we feeling good. There might be a day or a time we feeling bad. Some 1 hour we might be feeling good. Next hour somebody piss us off, we feeling bad. You know? So it's a constant movement of energy. Energy is simply emotions are energy in motion. Energy in motion. Okay. And the energy that you are going through is registered through your emotions. When you feel good, it's high. When you feel bad, it's low vibration. Okay. So it's not that complicated. So don't complicate this stuff. All right. And that's what too many people do. Let's see. Let's see. When Christians pray for you or want to pray for you, why is it they say covered in the blood of Jesus and are healed in Jesus' name? You are healed. I don't know all of that. So I mean, I probably could find out some information about that, but the idea of the blood and stuff like that, the blood carries energy, or all kind. It goes into a lot of different things. So I don't know all that, and I don't really get into all of that because a lot of stuff they just have so twisted anyway. Let's see. I just joined, and you said it was training to be a goddess. Thank you. Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. It's training to be a goddess, god or goddess. That's what life is about. Can never be enough family. I will continue. All right. Sheldon was true salvation is self-realization. And I can agree with that, Sheldon. On some level, true salvation is self-realization. And self-realization is connecting your lower animal self, your physical body, to your higher self. Okay? That's the real realization. Let's see. After Jesus died, they poked him in his heart from a downward position. Jesus died. Okay. Yeah. No, Jesus never lived. Okay. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, but I understand people kind of hold on to it. Let's see. No short answer for that. Feel free to step into my office, vovibes.com. Eugene Dorsey. I know that's right. Let's see. Will these souls be our ancestors that we reincarnate into? Wise, that's a good question, because we are our ancestors. We reincarnate over and over. Okay. So people that we think of as our ancestors, we are them reincarnated again. Okay. So absolutely. This is forever learning path or journey. Absolutely. Absolutely, Dark Goddess. Yeah, this is not like Christianity where you live one life, then you die and you go to heaven or hell, and that's it. Or you burn in hell. That ain't it. Let's see. What are your views honoring your ancestors? Honor them. So honor, do what works for you. I mean, that's my view on it. Let's see, the Hermetic laws. Hermetic laws are nothing but Kemetic laws. So Thaw, Tehudi, Jehudi, that's all Kemetic stuff. So that's where it originated from. Let's see, they destroyed the temple and rebuilt it in 3 days. He was the temple in terms of the crucifixion and resurrection. On some level, yeah, you can look at it like that, Eugene. Absolutely. You can look at it like that, for sure. All right, Ruben gave $20. Thank you, Ruben. He says, after we transition, do we have a guide? Yes, we can have guides. And you'll see that in the Comedic tradition, Osiris has Anubis as his guide. Okay, and that's just a universal symbolic meaning of we have a guide when we die. So that we have people waiting on the other side. They might be our ancestors. They might be parents that died before us. They might be people that we known in other lives. But we have guides that'll guide us when we first cross over or transition. So let's not even call it death. When we first transition from the physical world, we are disoriented. And then a lot of times we still have remnants of whatever our beliefs were while we're in the physical world. That's why people still believe, or people say that they've died and come back, or have a near-death experience and they see Jesus, or they've seen hell, or they've seen, because you still have remnants of your brain consciousness, or the things that you learned on earth when you first cross over. Okay. But yeah, you'll have a guide that'll help you to transition from the physical world into the metaphysical world. Absolutely. Dwight Evers says, what do you think about listening to affirmations as you fall asleep? I think that's a great application. So absolutely do it. Do it. Do you believe in miracles? Do I believe that some miraculous things happening? Absolutely. So they've happened in my life, but I realized that I was the creator of the miracle. Okay. So yes, absolutely. Miracles do happen. Okay. But not like walking on water and shit. No, I don't believe that. I tried that, although if I got real scared and like an alligator was chasing me or something, I might could walk on some water. I ain't lying. Woo! Yeah, but anyway, let's see. About 17 plus years and still learning. Hey, Dark Goddess, I've been on the same here. Been on it almost 20 years, still learning. So having so much fun. So let's see. Let's see. Energy is infinite. Absolutely. How can the soul, can get so unaware that it can't be reincarnated? That's just part of the game, because the soul, and that's a good question. Whoever answered it, Love JJ put it up, but I know somebody else answered. That's a good question. But the soul consciousness and the brain or mind are in a symbiotic relationship. And sometimes we can live so much in fear and unawareness that we never reconnect with our higher self. But we can also get to where we end up being so psychologically like jacked up that we might become an axe murderer. We might become what do you call them? A serial killer or something like that. That type of person that harms humanity like that is completely lost. As a soul, you would not treat another human being that way, killing them and doing stuff like that. So you can literally get lost and not be able to find your way back to your higher self. Okay. In that sense, the soul kind of loses control. Okay. and or I won't even say loses control, because it's not about trying to control the mind. It's about trying to guide it and gently get it to go where it needs to go. But there can be but the soul also energetically, and illness is an energetic manifestation that projects from the soul. So when you're in those psychological negative mental states, that kind of pain, you're literally imprinting yourself on the soul as well, and the soul in a sense becomes damaged. Okay. And in that sense, the soul cannot recover if it's like traumatic enough. And usually this would be somebody they might be like a new soul, okay? That might be so traumatic that soul can't recover. And from what I've studied is that the soul can be like kind of reformulated. So the consciousness that it was is reformulated into something else, and in that sense, it's a second death. But it can be reformulated into something new. Okay, so that's what I've studied. Those are the things that I've studied and heard. Okay, all right. Let's see. Crystal Turner gave $19.99. Thank you, Crystal. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see. Shauna said that's a problem. I need to stop jumping back to my negative thoughts and energy. Yeah, you just gotta think positive. Be positive. Let's see. I answered that one already. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just going. So I'm just looking. Who was in the chat right now? What if Jesus was in the chat right now? I don't know. I guess maybe he'd be enjoying it. I don't know. Jesus ain't in the chat, man. Oh man. Let's see. And Bernadette Coleman says, was my she doesn't have access to my Cash App, Bernadette, but I do see a cash gift here. So yes, Bernadette is was received. And I also just got something from Samira Henderson. Thank you very much. And Cash App. So thank you. Yes, got it. Thank you, ladies. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. All right. Okay. Let's see. You only lose memory when you reincarnate, but you can retain it. Yes, spiritual student. So yes, absolutely. You lose memory, but that's just part of the game. Okay. So you lose the memory, but you absolutely positively can regain that memory. So that's part of the game. That's part of what we're doing here, is to regain that memory. Okay. Can let go of Jesus Christ. I don't know what that means. The mind is the eternal body of men and is one with the soul. The mind is actually the I guess the consciousness in action in the physical body. So I guess that's kind of one way to look at it. Let's see. Yeah, Dwayne Howard, did you have a question? Says, can you let go of Jesus? I mean, I did. I gave him the boot. Boom. That reminds me of a story. So it was a tough time. I had a cousin of mine that I was close to that committed suicide a few years ago. And one of my uncles was he's a very religious type of a person, or he was. So he's not living now. But I was talking to him and just talking to him about a relationship that I was in and stuff like that. So he pulled out the Bible, man, his little pocket Bible, and started, handed me a Bible and said, read that scripture right there. So this is one of these, he's a real pious type of a dude. So I, just indulged him and read the question, because he was one of my uncles. He was one of my favorite uncles. I really loved him, But he said something like, yeah, but we're supposed to ask Jesus into our heart and such, because I told him I don't believe this stuff anymore. But you're supposed to ask Jesus in your heart. I said, I asked Jesus out of my heart. Boy, he looked at me. He was quiet for probably the next 5-10 minutes. Didn't have nothing to say to me. And needless to say, he wasn't my favorite uncle anymore. I wasn't his favorite nephew. Oh man. But yeah, he thought I was like just off my rocker, just for real. So, but it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. Bye, Jesus. See ya. Okay. And but anyway, this life moves on. See, can we replace the ideas of Christ in the Bible as our own identity? On some level, you could look at it as like a template for yourself. On some level, those Maria, because that's really what they were supposed to be, universal templates that we can look at and we can kind of use them as guides for our life expression. So that's one way you could look at it. So the symbolic meaning of Lucifer is that he is the ultimate lost soul. No, not at all, Alex Marshall. That's what Christianity twisted the idea of Lucifer. Lucifer actually had a positive meaning, so it had nothing to do. You didn't connect Lucifer and the devil were not connected until the King James version of the Bible. Lucifer, if you look up the ancient meaning of Lucifer, the Latin meaning, it actually means light bearer, okay, or bearer of light. Okay, we are light. The souls are light. Okay, so when light falls into matter, okay, we are the light that's falling into matter. Christianity twisted it to mean that Lucifer was a fallen angel. The bearer of light was a fallen angel. Okay, so that's a twisted teaching. Lucifer does not have a negative meaning, okay, or didn't have one, and only the King James version of the Bible teaches that. Okay, Christ is the higher consciousness, not a man. So it's just a title. I can't even say that name. 555 is just a title. That's all. Let's see. Ra, he's probably was thinking about, he's probably looking at me like, this devil, I swear to God come strike him down. But anyway, but he ain't did it yet, so I guess I'm okay. Let's see. I had some grape juice today. Y'all remember the grape juice that we used to drink in church every first Sunday? And those little cracker things. I actually used to like the taste of those. We had the wafers, so we was like elevated in our church. Anyway. Jesus Christ never existed. From all the research that I've done, it looks like this might be the case. However, the power of his name repels demons. Yeah, if you believe that it does. But Jesus never existed. Just because the power, his name repels something doesn't mean that it existed. That, good God. But anyway, let's see. Real talk. Yeah. Let's see. Now, let's see. It says, Ruben says, real talk. Teach. Thank you, Ruben. Let's see. Now I'm definitely gaining understanding about comedics. Thank you, Reg. You're welcome, Dulce Maria. My mother and grandmother hates my new comedic knowledge. They say I need to repent and give my life to Jesus. Tiana, who's that? Tiana Cornucopia Ja. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. So yeah, my family was one of those like really religious families. So man, they was like I said, they unfriended me on Facebook. Maybe you want to cry. Not really, but it was what it was. Oh man. But anyway. Let's see. Let's see. And let's see. Lisa Moore says, I used to like those crackers and juice too. I was hungry sitting in church. Hey, I understand, Lisa Moore. I wanted to grab some extra ones, but my mom was sitting next to me. Like, boy, put that down. I wanted some little crackers, Mom. So give me them wafers. And then you know that grape juice just made it all just kind of melt in your mouth. Man, that was some good eating, man. Oh man, for real. You can find me in the club with a bottle full of bub. I heard that. I ain't mad at you, Love JJ. I ain't mad at you. Let's see. Jesus and God, they are misleading people. Let's see. Quincy Bruce says, question, do you believe there are just negative people in the world that have to bring people down? Or is it a lesson you need to learn from? Quincy Brooks, both. So yes, there are negative people in the world that have a negative perspective about things. And yes, they are to learn, you are to learn lessons from them. Okay, so both. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, Empress, let's see, Empress Queen Delighting says, I was told the devil had me. Yeah, and I told y'all before, my mom called me Satan, you know. So I mean, my mom was very religious back in the day. So she's mellowed out now. But back in the day, boy, she was a Bible thumping mom. Woo, man, and she thumped me a lot of times, you know. So I had to fight a whole lot, but I won't say I had to fight a whole lot, but my family was kind of like just ultra religious. They were so religious that all of them had a version of Jesus, and they all fought each other about the version of Jesus. And I don't mean physically, but they all had my Jesus, you know. It's crazy shit. Yep. Let's see. And let's see. Questions: are twin flames real? Not the way that Love JJ. Not the way that that I know. So people talk about twin flames or one soul split in half, and that's metaphysically they don't understand the idea of what a soul is, because every soul has a masculine and feminine aspect. So twin flame of one soul cannot split its masculine and feminine aspect. So that idea of twin flames, it doesn't exist. Now they could be talking about something different, but from what I understand, no, that doesn't go. This whole life is a test. In a sense, you can look at it like that, being and becoming. I wonder if that's why many don't like tests on a whole. Now, I never liked tests, but you know what they say about life. You get the lesson, or you get the test, and then you get the lesson. Yeah, that's what life is. So you get your ass kicked, and then you go, oh, so that was the reason for that. You know, that's kind of what happens. Let's see. Let's see. Red Rose, you lost track of time. Oh man. Let's see. Thumbs up, family. Close out. Yep. Let's see here. Little shot is blessed hitting that. All right. All right, guys. It is 8:04. It's about that time. But at any rate, thank you guys all for being here. All you guys that gave, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate you. All my moderators that have been here tonight, thank you again. As always, I appreciate you guys being here and being so consistent with that. So thank you so much. Great questions, everybody. I appreciate it again. Always, you guys always ask some of the best questions, and I so appreciate that. For real. So, but we'll do it again next week, and you guys be good. If you can't be good, just do it good, okay? Damn. On that note, y'all have a good night, guys. We'll see you. All right.